What's your call to worship?
Thank you, Carter.
Yeah, let's get it.
So last Sunday there were a couple of people who read poems, and Sheree was leaving and she was talking to Pastor Chris, but I wasn't up there yet, and by the time I got to where they were, I was on the program. So I don't know what the conversation was, and she promised that she didn't volunteer me, but I don't know if I believe her. The poem that I wanted to read or share with you today is called Homesick, and it's a poem that I wrote a few years ago when I moved to the Charlotte area. And if you don't remember, I'm from Charleston. We're both natives of Charleston, and so I was missing home something terrible, and I was in a poetry workshop and I wrote it, and now it's been about 4 years, I think, since I wrote this poem, and so much is different. Like, I don't even hang out with half of the people in this poem anymore. So time has a weird way of growing you up and making you see things differently. So everything is kind of very, very different now. So homesick. I want to go home, to spend the night with my daddy on a Friday night, staying up late, eating leftover okra stew and rice and drinking green tea, talking, watching movies and laughing, filling the whole house with our laughter, waking up my stepmother with our laughter, to wake up early Saturday morning, not by the hand of God on my shoulder, but by the sound of music, of Prince, of Michael Jackson, of Cameo, of Earth, Wind & Fire, of Bob Marley, and the smell of food, grits and shrimp, eggs, sausage, potatoes, and onions, biscuits glistening with melted butter cascading over the sides. I'd walk downstairs to a southern feast, to my father singing Ben louder than young Michael and his brothers, and my stepmother crooning the tune in Spanish, her long black hair swaying down against her back as she danced over the notes. I want to go home, to my mother's house, to the smell of incense and cigarette smoke filling the air, the clicking and hissing of the iron as she presses clothes, cigarette hanging from her lips as she sings gospel, or Anita Baker, or Kim, or anything else, sprays herself in Clinique's aromatics, wraps short hair over a tiny barrel curling iron, the smell of burning hair, the crisp and sizzle of her curls permeating the bathroom, which smelled of Clorox, Pine Sol, and Caress soap. Before we'd leave, drive to the little house on the side of the road that bears our church moniker. Cars in the grass and gravel parking lot, a busy inside. Members bustle about, doing this, doing that, the work of the Lord being done by his diligent servants. I land, my best friend is here, and we trade diligent servitude for an escape, an escapade executed without a plan. She drives, windows down, letting wind hit our faces, reaches for the radio non with long green and glittered fingernails. We sing along to Wiz or Jay, but Music Soul Child is our favorite. The mall is our playground. We walk around like we own it, but in the back of my mind, I'm wondering if Charleston will ever put more stores in Northwoods Mall. She's putting together her outfit for the night, and they did, but they're all like not good stores. It got worse. It was supposed to get better. She's putting together her outfit for the night because we are going to party, take over the city with her friends. I'm home now and we must celebrate. Her friends may not have missed me, but I missed them. The dark of Faison's house lit up with Christmas lights or a lava lamp, I can't remember which. The pink and yellow cups stacked in the kitchen with something fruity with liquor in them to get us right for the evening. Us women in the back where the light is, short dresses and 2 high heels taking pictures with camera phones that have amazing flash. This is the crew. We leave in a caravan, which would look like a funeral procession, but we are in red, silver, and black cars and sound like Concord Street in September during Moja. We arrive 2 long lines of Charleston's finest, standing outside, peering over shoulders, looking for the line to shorten. We don't stand behind them, but walk beside them. We go to the front, staying close to one another, pushing our bodies through eye rolls and teeth sucking. The bouncer looks at us, waves us in. We go to the stage and dance around the DJ. Beyonce first fades into Kanye, fades into some other song I don't know the words to yet. It's hot and sweaty, and I feel like my hair fell and my makeup is running. My eyes roll. My ex is here dancing too, but I ignore him and kick my heels off. The night ends. The parking lot is filled with the tired and the sweaty. Big guys trying to find the girl in the short dress they had danced with all night. Numbers are exchanged. Can't read that line. Cars crank up and anthems play. Roscoe Dash, Hollywood and Troy, SSE gang. We tried to get our last moves out on an asphalt dance floor, but police are here, turning on their blue lights and rushing us into vehicles, directing traffic out onto the main highway, onto interstates. We crossed the Ashley River over 526. Back in Latson, we collapsed. I land in her bed, me on the green recliner that has seen better days, but has been here since I can remember. In the morning, as sure as my name begins with an R, Miss Lillian jostles us up, jolted from sleep. We are not done recovering from the night before. We pull sluggish bodies from the warmth of covers, exchange pajamas for clothes appropriate for church, release wraps from satin headscarves, remove crust from our eyes, and replace with eyeshadow, liner, and mascara. Fred Hammond, the soundtrack to our slothery and apparent immobility. It's early, but at least I'm not at my mom's. At least I did not have to wake up for disciple class. As we walk in, we are greeted by warm smiles, handed paper programs, announcements, and recaps, prayer requests, I land and I sit in the middle, near the First Lady, but next to the sound equipment. Mother Bagley is in sight distance, singing commences. Off-key, our ramshackle choir croons out tunes I've never heard before. Bad renditions of songs that are supposed to offer praise, but instead, I'm sure God is applauding the effort as he reaches for his earplugs. I do not clap during this part of the service. Clapping encourages. Pastor Days is behind the podium, no robe on this Sunday. He's a giant behind it, and his words shake and rattle us, inspire amens and claps and tambourine shakes. We end the service with prayer and conversations between comrades. James and Jonathan laugh on the porch with their hands in their pockets. Small children run around, noses dirty but running with rebellion, refusing to keep their hands still enough for mothers with Kleenex. I'm plotting. My mother hands me the keys and lets me out on my own for a while. I pick up Wilfred and we drive to the edge of America, remove our sandals and plunge toes into salt and pepper sand. We breathe in salt air. Sun rays hit our faces as we walk down the coast. I want to go home.
I want you to meet Vicky's
Cousin.
Yeah, cousin. Yeah, part of the family, the Willis family. And the first time I went to meet the Willis family was at the Christmas party. They have a Christmas party on Christmas Day every year. And it's a big gathering. At that particular time, there was probably about 80 people there. And it was at Paula's home. And so I've never met the family before, okay? Never met the family before. And Paula has a little brother. What's his name?
Andy.
And how old was he at that time? That was probably 79 or 80. What?
5.
Something like that. And Andy had gotten some boxing gloves for Christmas. Now, he was standing at the door waiting on me to welcome me to the family. And anybody want to guess what he did? Right smack in the snout. It hurt. Yeah, it hurt. Should we ever hit anybody in the snout? No. Would you tell your brother that he should never do that again?
Absolutely.
Yeah. And would you tell everybody what your brother is doing now?
He's a pastor in Tennessee.
So I just wanted you to remember today what you learned. Never hit anybody in the snout, okay? If you do, you may end up being a preacher. Oh, actually, it was 2 or 3. Thank you so much. That's all the wisdom I can share with you. You may go back to your...
Oh, beautiful star of Bethlehem, shining afar through shadows dim, giving a light for those who long have gone, and guiding the wise men on the way unto the place where Jesus lay. Oh, beautiful star of Bethlehem, shine on. Oh, beautiful star of Bethlehem, shine upon the land of perfect day. Beautiful star of Bethlehem, shine on, shine on. Oh, beautiful star of hope of light, don't rest me. That's okay, let's do that again. Okay. Oh, beautiful star of hope of rest, for the redeemed, the good and blessed, yonder in glory when the crown is won. Jesus is now the star divine, brighter and brighter he will shine. Oh, beautiful star of Bethlehem, shine on, shine on. Oh, beautiful star of Bethlehem, shine upon us until the glory dawns. Give us the light to guide the way unto the land of perfect day. Beautiful star of Bethlehem, shine on, shine on.
Hear this, all you peoples. Give ear, all inhabitants of the world, both low and high, rich and poor together. My mouth shall speak wisdom, the meditation of my heart shall be understanding. I will incline my ear to a proverb. I will solve my riddle to the music of the harp. Why should I fear in times of trouble when the iniquity of my persecutors surrounds me? Those who trust in their wealth and boast of the abundance of their riches. Truly no ransom avails for one's life. There is no price one can give to God for it. For the ransom of life is costly and can never suffice, that one should live on forever and never see the grave. When we look at the wise, they die. Fool and dope perish together and leave their wealth to others. Their graves are their homes forever, their dwelling places to all generations. Though they named lands their own, mortals cannot abide in their pomp. They are like the animals that perish. Good morning.
Good morning.
So I have one quick disclaimer. I have a really good friend who's just talk. Okay. All right, let's try it again. So I have a really good friend who's in deacon training at Unity Fellowship, and she is preaching this morning. And so when I finish preaching, I'm going to scoot out, which is really odd, but it's only because I promised her that I would be there. This is her second sermon ever, so please allow me to go and be supportive. So, all right, good morning, y'all.
Good morning.
So, in many ways, this psalm, the psalmist, has a very obvious message. Wealth cannot save you from the grave. Even wisdom cannot save you from the grave. As you all know, I always preach the lectionary, and up until recently, I had kind of gotten myself into some complicated texts doing that. But this morning, I was very happy to say that all of the lectionary texts discussed had the same simple theme: not overvaluing wealth, combined with the inevitability of death. In the Ecclesiastes text, it states, "Vanities of vanities, all is vanity. What do mortals get from all the toil and strain when they toil under the sun? For all their days are full of pain, and their work is vexation. Even at night their mood does not rest. This also is vanity." The Luke text retells the story of Jesus teaching and having a man request that Jesus ensure that he will get half of his inheritance when the father dies. And Jesus replies, as Jesus usually does, by telling a snarky story. The story of a rich man who produced abundantly, and this man hoarded all his grains and all his goods. He actually tore down one barn and built up another one that was even bigger, thinking that when he, passes on and when he dies, he has all this, so he will be able to rest well in the hereafter. But God rebuffs this man, saying, "You fool, you'll die tonight, and then who will have all your stuff? Where will all this that you have hoarded go, because you can't take it with you? All this labor will be for what?" So this is a pretty simple message, but let us not be fooled that sometimes the most simple of instruction is indeed the hardest to live out. At the beginning of this text, it says this text is written to the Kohathites. I think I'm saying that correctly. Just roll with me. They were descendants of someone named Korah, who's first mentioned in the book of Exodus. They were great warriors known for their expertise with the bow and arrow. They were also the gatekeepers to the tent, guarding the path to the most holy place. This is where the Israelites believed that God lived. And they were great musicians. In 1 Corinthians, David speaks of them as what we would call now as great worship leaders. They had a wonderful choir and a huge orchestra. To the warriors who fight and protect, to the gatekeepers who guard and discern, and even to the sacred musician, these who create music that speaks to our soul and uplifts us, the psalmist states that we cannot live in our pomp. The things that we create will not save us from death. Death is the great equalizer. Nothing that we create will last forever. So you may be thinking, okay, so what's the point, right? It's all pointless, nothing's going to last, so I'm just going to do me. I'm going to get out there, do what I want to do, enjoy myself, and really not worry about it too much because it's all just going to perish, right? So that's the answer. Of course not. Of course not. My beloveds, our scriptures this morning are calling us back to a beautiful, full, and simple truth that life itself is the point. Life is sacred and precious, to be nurtured, respected, cared for, protected, nourished, cherished. So then what does this look like? How do we live out this truth? Nowadays, I find that can be so hard to do when we are constantly seduced by images and commercials and ads for this new thing or that new outfit or whatever the new, shiny, fabulous thing is we just have to have. Sometimes it is so hard to remember that our worth, our value, what makes us truly beloved in the heart of God and in the hearts of one another is not what we own. The gaining of capital, the gaining of power over another cannot be our goal. We as people of faith striving to follow the path of Jesus have a responsibility not to give in to this temptation. We must not cower to the wealthy or those who have political power or military power. Our psalmist this morning takes a brief aside in the middle of this lesson to remind us that in times of trouble, when our persecutors are all around us, we will not be seduced into trusting those who boast their wealth and their riches.
Amen.
Thank you. Amen. That's what I'm thinking on that one. Amen.
I got that one.
Right. Yes, Chris.
That's
what I said. We will not be seduced by that. And again, in today's political climate, I think that is worth an amen, which I already got. So thank you, Chris. Lately, in fact, for the last week and a half, I have been having very troubling dreams. Not quite nightmares, but close, right? So, you go to sleep and you have kind of like the normal sleep, and then you get to that REM state. And then for me, kind of around like between 3 and 5, I usually get up at 5, there's this time period where I tend to have dreams. And usually whatever I dream about from 3 to 5 kind of sets the tone of my day, because by 5 o'clock I'm up, and no matter how hard I try to go back to sleep, I cannot. Well, for the last week and a half, I have been having the most troubling dreams. Dreams of being in public and being heckled by people, being harassed by people, feeling threatened just walking down the street. In one set of dreams, it was because I was a woman. Another set, it was because I was queer. Another set, It's because I was black and I had my son with me, who was here last night, cute little 11-year-old. I've been very troubled, and I have been exhausted this week because I have not been able to sleep well. Now, I will say last night, due to the comedian we had here, Donna, is that her name, Donna?
Yeah.
Is she here right now?
She had to go
She's headed
back.
back? Okay, well, please tell her I say thank you so much. Because last night, my dreams took a little bit of a turn,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
I was kind of roasting the political climate of the day. So they were still troubling, but at least I was able to laugh, right? So the gift of humor. So this text this morning is speaking to me too. I cannot cower or be troubled when my persecutors seem to be surrounding me. And so, we who are people of faith, we are called not to tremble with fear in the face of the powerful. We are called not even to give in to despair when faced with the reality of death, because we are a resurrection people. I'll say that again because it came out kind of choppy. We are a resurrection people.
Amen.
We are called to focus on life, to turn our attention, our efforts, our talents, our passions to co-creating life. A life of equity, access, and opportunity for all persons. We who are a resurrection people who try to live out the teachings of Jesus are called to stand with those whose lives are not valued. Transgender and gender fluid lives, black and brown lives, impoverished lives, undocumented immigrant lives, and in many parts of the world, still to this day, female lives. Lives that are lived under the constant siege and threat of state-sanctioned violence. Lives that are abused, dismissed, and consumed for the gaining of capital and power. We, as a resurrection people, know that while wealth and empires will perish, that there are truths that even death cannot overcome. The power of life, the power of our love, the legacy of our values, or our assumptions and isms. Either the legacy of our hate or of our love. So my question for you this morning is, what from you will live on past the grave? Amen.
I give you,
Thanks.
O Lord, with my whole
Heart.
before the gods I sing your
Praise.
I bow down toward you and your holy temple, and I give thanks to your name for your steadfast
Love.
and your
Faithfulness.
for you have exalted your name and your word above everything.
On the day I called,
You answered me. You increased.
my strength of soul.
All the kings of the earth shall praise you, O Lord, for they have heard the words of your mouth.
They shall sing of the ways of the Lord, for great is the glory of the Lord.
For the Lord is high, he regards the lowly, but the haughty he perceives from far away. Though I walk in the midst of
Trouble.
you preserve me against.
The wrath of my enemies.
You stretch out your hand.
And your right hand delivers me.
The Lord will fulfill his purpose for me. Your steadfast love, O Lord, endures forever. Do not forsake the work of your hands. Who likes to sing? Who likes to sing? Okay? Who loves to sing? Who loves to sing in the shower with water dripping down in your face and your back? Who can't carry a tune in a bucket but loves to sing anyway? I'm going to give you an example of that last category. Ay, 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 I am the frito bandito. I love fritos corn chips. I love them, I do. I want fritos corn chips. I'll get them from you. Ay, 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 I
I am the frito bandito. Give me fritos corn chips and I'll be your friend. The frito bandito, you must not offend. Can I be in the choir? I thought this was an inclusive church. I can't sing a lick, but I love to sing. And to the dismay of my family and friends, I remember just about every song I learned in 9th grade Spanish. In Madrid hay un palacio que se llama Isabel. Cucaracha, porque no trabajar. So I'm all for singing, but singing to me is like preaching. It can go on too long. After an hour of singing, I get a little bored unless you are the Beach Boys or Chicago or the Doobie Brothers or Carole King or Carly Simon or James Taylor or Stevie Wonder or Gladys Knight or Aretha Franklin or Diana Ross or Tracy Chapman. Our psalmist writes about singing. Actually, a better way of putting it is the psalmist sings about singing because the Psalms are ancient Israel's hymn book. Welcome to the synagogue. Turn now to Psalm such and such. Stand up if you're able. Lift your voices and make a joyful noise. Now you're probably wondering why I'm singing when I'm the worst singer, why I was the worst singer in the youth choir of my home church. And you're probably wondering why I'm preaching on singing. Why did I do anything? To make mi esposa, my wife, happy. And guess what? There are few things in life that make my wife happier than singing. She comes from a family of singers. Aunt Senna Mae, Cousin Paula, who is here today, Cousin Donna and Vicky, alto section, Aunt Margaret, many years church choir director, and Cousin Sarah, high school band leader, soprano section, Aunt Kate, piano and organ player, Uncle Earl and James, Vicky's father, bass section, Uncle Lewis, tenor, Rhonda Googe with us today, any voice and all instruments, she does it all. Cousin Andy, the guy that hit me in the nose, bass and guitar player, Cousin Patrick and Daniel on the piano, flutist, Sarah's oldest daughter, David, Sarah's husband, trumpet and bass, Benjamin and Chris, guitar, mandolin, and they are selling songs on iTunes, by the way. And that's not everybody, but you get the picture. This is a singing and playing family. Every Christmas, not just one Christmas, every Christmas day, the Willis family gathers. They gather, they hug, big hugs, they bring in their grub, they read the Christmas story from Matthew or Luke. Someone blesses the grub, they fill their plates, they fill their bellies, and they fill the church fellowship hall with chatter. Chatter, 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 chatter. They are big talkers. They love talking. Vicky gets it honest. So glad to have Rhonda here today. She knows what my life is like. When Vicky was a little girl who couldn't shut up, Rhonda said, "Vicky, if you'll shut up, I'll give you a quarter." The Willises are big talkers. They love to talk. They love to laugh. And then at Christmas gathering, they love to sing. Well, that's putting it lightly. You might as well call it the annual Willis Christmas concert. They sing for a solid hour and a half or longer. Did I tell you that if you're the Beach Boys or Chicago or Aretha Franklin, an hour's more than that's good for me? Not so for the Willis clan. And I've got a hunch, and it's just a hunch now, it's just a hunch, because I can't prove it, but I've got a hunch the psalmist and the psalmist buddies were more like the Willises than me. My gut tells me they sang a long time because they had so much to sing about. Listen to the harmony. They shall sing of the ways of the Lord, for great is the glory of the Lord. Listen to the voices blending. For though the Lord is high, he regards the lowly, but the haughty he perceives from far away. Listen to the heart behind the vocalized notes and words. Though I walk in the midst of trouble, you preserve me against the wrath of my enemies. You stretch out your hand, and your right hand delivers me. Listen to people singing their hearts out. Have you ever done that? Have you ever just sang your heart out? The Lord will fulfill his purpose for me. Your steadfast love, O Lord, it endures forever. Do not, Lord, forsake the work of your hands in my life and in the life of the world. And so today, my prayer for you is this, is that you will be like the Willis family, that your family will be like the Willis family, that God will always give you and yours something to sing about. And that is some of you, and that includes some of you who failed high school chorus. Who are you? That includes some of you who sing like me. May the singing we do inspire us to change the world, to love the world as God loves the world. Amen? Amen. May this week, may your heart and life be filled with song.
There's a dark and a troubled side of life. There's a bright and sunny side too. Though we meet with the darkness and strife, the sunny side we also may view. Everybody help me. Keep on the sunny side, always on the sunny side. Keep on the sunny side of life. It will help you every day. It will brighten all your way if you keep on the sunny side of life. Storm and cloud in their fury grow today, crushing hopes that we cherish so dear. Storm and cloud will in time pass away, and the sun again will shine bright and clear. Keep on the sunny side, always on the sunny side. Keep on the sunny side of life. It will help you every day. It will brighten all your way if you keep on the sunny side of life. Let us sing with a song of hope today. Though the moments be cloudy or fair, let us trust in our Savior always, that He keep us forever in His care. Keep on the sunny side, always on the sunny side. Keep on the sunny side of life. It will help you every day. It will brighten all your way if you keep on the sunny side of life. Y'all sound so good. Let's do that chorus again. Keep on the sunny side, always on the sunny side. Keep on the sunny side